everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Pod What Happens Live, brought to you by Silent Podcasts. We are a podcast for all things Bravo TV. I'm your host, Katie, and I am here with my co-host, Kari. How are you, Kari?
I am surviving. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I know you're feeling under the weather. You're a trooper. 2 podcasts in a row and 2 days when you're feeling shitty is a lot.
Mucinex. This podcast is brought to you by Mucinex.
Not sponsored, but sponsor us if you want to.
If you want to sponsor me, Mucinex.
Yeah.
I harp your glory all over this fine country. When someone buy this and this, I'm like, Mucinex D, you got to get the shit from behind the counter. They're gonna check
the behind the counter. Yeah.
That's
the real stuff.
Honestly, like, is it candy on the other side? Because ever
since
that's true,
is it? Yeah.
My first box of Mucinex D from behind the counter, I was like, what have I been taking? Because this actually works and am I taking placebos? And so, yes, you have to go ask for it from behind the counter.
But it's worth the human interaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally. Well, shout out to Mucinex. I'm glad it's making you feel a little better. For some reason, so it's Tuesday. If you're not listening to this live or watching us on YouTube as we record this, it's Tuesday. And there's a full-on, I live in an apartment building, and like behind our building is an alleyway, which is like really just for parking spaces. It's not a backyard or anything. There's a full-on party with like tables and chairs and children running around. It's 8:22 p.m. on a Tuesday. What are we doing?
The club is going up on a Tuesday.
I guess so. It's a children's club. Because it's like little kids just running around and their parents sitting in chairs. It's like weird.
It's like the Kids Bop version of a club. Like the Chuck E. Cheese goes up on a Tuesday.
We're playing the Kids Bop version of WAP out there. Well, let's get into it. We have a couple of things. Real Housewives of OC is off this week, which if anybody knows why, let us know because we don't know why, but took us by surprise. And I'm a little disappointed. I was looking forward to it this week.
Yeah, we were like, wait, did you watch OC? Because I didn't see it. Was there one? And so, unless it was
Watch What Happens Live, I think, was also off this week. I don't know. Maybe something's up. Maybe it's just a PTO week for everybody. A lot of people at my job are on PTO this week.
Oh,
Everybody's just living their best summer lives. Yeah, a lot. It's weird. So let's just get this out of the way. We got to talk Bethany. And now that she's going by Rachel, I want to go back to calling her Raquel.
I don't know if this is like any temperature take, but it like didn't bother me that her name is actually Rachel and went by Raquel. Especially like if the story is true that there is a bunch of Rachels and it's like, okay, this
is that the story?
I had heard when given who knows if it's true or not. One of my best friends from home, his name is Eric, and there was like between the grade below him, his grade, and above him, there was like 8 to 10 Erics. So everybody calls him Lum because his last name is McCallum, L-U-M.
Oh, okay.
And so like I understand the like deviations. And so now that she's like taken ownership of Rachel, I just don't know if there's a way to really like jab at her with her name anymore. Like just call her Miss Levis.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to call her anything. I just want to be done talking about her. I don't care.
I think we're
Bethany brought her back.
Her.
Yeah, I think we are. Bethany brought her back into our lives, so we have to talk about it at least one last time. At least one, maybe more. Who knows? Who knows what's going to come out after this week? You really never know. But she was on Bethany's podcast. I, full disclosure, did not listen, but I've read a lot of discourse about it. Kari, I know you didn't listen either.
Seen a lot of TikToks though.
Oh yeah. Well, what I did hear is that she broke up essentially what seems like maybe was a 1-hour interview into 3 separate parts, and that each podcast was mostly ads.
Yeah, someone on Reddit like did the wrong math, and I wasn't gonna be that guy to be like, well, actually, I think I saw that part 1 was 38 minutes, and 12 of those minutes were ads, and they're like,
that's actually outrageous.
Yeah, so they're like 25%. I'm like, it's actually much closer to 33 because like 12 goes into 36 three times. So it's
Right.
like
That makes
just
sense. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, which is even more
It
ads than
definitely
this person
sounds
was
like just
telling
by,
people.
yeah, by number. Well, that makes no sense by numbers. It sounds like more. Obviously, that's what math is.
Yeah.
But like, I would assume it'd be closer to 50% if I was doing very fast mental math
Yeah.
than 25%.
That's it's a little less than 33%.
Yeah.
And that's wild. I can't
Wild.
imagine listening to Raquel and Bethany to also have to listen to like, I don't know what ads are even you like
Yeah.
uh
Who's sponsoring Bethany Frankel is what I want to know.
um herself. She doesn't need anybody else. It's probably
That's
brought
true.
to you by like Be Strong.
Oh, God. Yeah. And like whatever fake union she's trying to pretend like she's the head of when she's, I think that came out this week too, that like she's not actually the one that's like leading this Bravo expose. So I don't know. She's a disaster. But the few things that I heard top of mind about these podcasts were that she said that Raquel, whatever, was not getting paid well. And then Lisa Vanderpump came out and said she made $375,000 for last season. What did Bethany say? She pays her interns more than Rachel is getting paid. And then Lisa Vanderpump said she actually was paid $375,000 for season 10, which is a lot of fucking money just to be on a TV show that you were not a main cast member on up until last season.
It's a lot of money to get paid to like be the mistress.
I'm just shocked because obviously they like negotiated the contract before they knew about Scandival. So what were they paying her this much money for? She didn't give us anything in season 9. So that's surprising in itself.
I imagine, I mean, if she's making that much, what are some of the other people making?
That's like, what I would like to know. They're all making too much. If she's making $375,000, they're all making too much money.
Mm-hmm.
So that was wild.
I could go on a fucking rant, especially as a former teacher, of like Raquel makes that much money, and like it was my job for 11 years to foster the youth, and I was getting paid in like coconuts and Trident layers.
Right. Like, Amy said it's the breakdown, so it's $50,000 an episode. Imagine $50,000 for like one day of work. I know one episode is more than one day of work, but like let's just equate it to one day of work or like 1 week of work. $50,000 a week, that's when the episodes air. Like that's crazy to me.
What a life.
What a life. What a life. So that was the first thing that was debunked. I guess there was a lot of discourse around her being exploited for what was going on, even though Bethany also came out and said she did not pay her for this podcast. So who's doing the exploiting now, Bethany? Who's getting the ad revenue? Sounds like it's you. 12 minutes of ads per 38-minute podcast. That's a lot of ad revenue given the amount of listeners you probably have. So just for this week alone. So you can't throw her a couple of bucks if you're worried about exploiting people and people getting exploited by Bravo. You're literally exploiting this girl right now. You know she's going to get dragged on the internet.
But also, why did Raquel do it for free? Like, she knows
get a
that
manager.
Someone would pay you.
Yeah.
To hear what you have to say. Your first interview after leaving. I'd
throw her $100 to come on this podcast. That's more than Bethany.
I would have.
She would be more beneficial for her to come on this podcast.
Yeah. Well, at this point, waiting for you.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, $200, maybe that'll sweeten the pot. We should just DM her and be like, we'll send you $200 if you come on our podcast. More than you made on Bethany's. May as well. It's a net positive for you.
And we'll teach you about HIPAA while you're here.
Yeah.
Moron.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that. So she said, I don't know the exact quote, but what did she say? That Andy Cohen violated HIPAA laws by saying something about what her medication, or just saying that she was in treatment or something?
No, I think didn't he make a comment along the lines of like, because of her demeanor during the reunion.
Oh, yeah. It seemed like she was on something.
She was like heavily medicated or something. And
yeah, that's like, not violating it. No. First of all, Andy Cohen's not your doctor. Mm-hmm. He does not work at a medical establishment. You are not a patient of his. So that's out the window anyway. Everybody loves to just scream HIPAA when no one knows what it means. It's like actually truly wild. And he was just making an assumption. He didn't know.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Imagine
adult. Like, she is adult.
every time you were like, that person seems like they have, and they're like, HIPAA violation.
Yeah, like what? HIPAA,
You
HIPAA.
can't assume that I have ADHD. That is a
Yeah,
HIPAA
yeah,
violation.
HIPAA. Yeah,
Mm.
truly wild. It's truly just a wild. That was
And like
wild.
Bethany was like doubling down on it. Like, do you not know what HIPAA is either? Like, I don't understand. You have to sign something every single like new doctor you go to about HIPAA. Read it once. It's only
Literally
saying
one
like
time.
anybody who works in that medical office will not disclose your information to anyone except for the people that you write on that piece of paper under the paragraph you didn't fucking read.
Right. Well, maybe Andy Cohen moonlights at one of her doctor's offices as like a receptionist or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
I guess he needs the extra money.
Between his radio show and
Yeah.
Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
And
Producing the Housewives.
yeah, he probably needs an extra $50K a week. And
Yeah,
Vanderpump
I would
Rules
say
won't take him
so.
on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was one other thing. She also said that Tom Sandoval got offered a producer's credit for season 11 to come back, which the production company for Vanderpump Rules swiftly came out. I don't know if they necessarily strongly came out, but it was kind of a strong statement saying that no, that's not the case. Which, like, okay, maybe Tom told her that, but she also said that she only has emailed with him like 2 times since
I
the
also
show.
saw that TMZ like ran down Lisa Vanderpump and they asked her and she was like, I am the executive producer.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
There's no shot. There's absolutely no shot. What a mess this whole thing is. Bethany is just like, I, for one, as a Bethany hater, am here for the downfall and the dragging of Bethany that's going on right now. She's unhinged on the internet, completely unhinged. Also, it came out sort of related, but not really necessarily related to this interview, but she is trying to put together a union for reality stars, supposedly. She's supposedly at like the forefront of this, which it came out, I think, this week. I didn't really read too much about it, but that there's something out there that is set to come out about Bravo and that Bethany is trying to get in on it, but she is not the originator of whatever it is that's going to come out, but she wants to capitalize on it somehow. So this is why she apparently heard about it. She knows it was going to come out. I don't know what it is. I think it was on Dumois, so like take it with a grain of salt, but it seems like maybe there's something about to drop. And so that's Bethany got wind of it from someone, and that's why she is starting this tirade all of a sudden. But then it also came out that she was pitching shows to Bravo as recently as March. So if you are so anti-Bravo, why are you pitching television shows to them as recently as March of 2023, ma'am? Why are you podcasting about the Housewives and capitalizing off of the Housewives if you're so anti-Bravo? I just don't understand.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean,
stick to your drugstore makeup reviews on TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Eat some more crabs on your TikTok. Go do that and leave us alone over here in our Bravo sphere. We are done with you. We're over it.
Was it Melissa that sent us a TikTok of like it very close up on her face?
Yes.
And
it was horrendous and horrifying.
I don't wear makeup, and so I don't really find it my place to judge people's makeup because
well, you have eyes.
Yeah. And my like exception to this rule was I didn't understand how Bethany Frankel missed so much of her lips.
She just looked like a disheveled clown on a rant.
I don't remember any content from that, and I told the two of you.
She was talking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle for some reason. I don't know. It was really wild.
I could only focus on like the gaps.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
I just wish that like one valuable piece of information came from this interview because it didn't seem like there was anything said that we didn't already know.
Well, it also seems like there's just no accountability being taken whatsoever. Bethany also was very quick to, and continues to, I think, in comments on the internet, just totally disregard Ariana and Tom's relationship. It's like, well, they're not married and they don't have kids. So it's like, okay, I could go fuck your fiance and you'd be fine with that because you're not married. You don't have kids with him.
Dude.
So that's fine.
People like that. That came up
I could just do that.
summer house, Martha's Vineyard, the like
Mm,
newly married couple that was like the centerpiece of it all. You're
yeah.
like, well, no, you guys are just in a relationship. Like, do you
I'm
realize
sorry,
how
but
you
that's
got married?
bullshit.
Like,
Yeah.
you is this unless it's
What?
an arranged marriage, you are usually having some sort of relationship before getting married, and saying that it's like not worth respecting. Okay, I don't respect you.
Right.
Plus,
Yeah, I mean,
your
I haven't
husband is
respected
a
Bethany.
misogynist pricked, but I
Oh,
mean,
on
I'm
that
still
show.
talking about Jasmine, but yeah, in conclusion, so a 9-year relationship where they've like purchased a house together, which I
Yeah, and
just
also
saw.
like have money, like businesses together and like whatever, a bit her book, whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I saw Ariana reply to like a comment, someone being like, "Why do you still live in the house?" And she's like,
oh,
"It's a house that I own, and I'm not going to uproot my dog and my elderly cat and cause the three of us more trauma than we've already experienced."
good for her.
Um,
He
I
is scum. He needs to
hot
move out
take
of the
though.
house.
I don't know if I believe that because didn't
Oh,
he take out a loan against the house
he did
for
take out a loan against the house.
and because in the show, Lisa Vanderpump was like,
That's not
"Don't
how it
let him do
works.
that,"
Yeah. She
and
was like, no, it's only
she
on
was like,
his half of
"It's
the house.
fine." Yeah, it's like,
And
well,
Lisa was like, no, you don't only take a loan on half of the
yeah,
house.
you
Like,
don't
it's
like
a
kick the
home equity loan. Yeah.
chainsaw down the
Uh-huh.
half, like this half, okay, this half needs to be like repurposed to the bank.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I actually believe that. Um
I've heard a lot of like rumors, and I don't know if this is just people talking about this online with no proof, which happens often. So take it with a grain of salt. I don't check any sources. That Tom may be getting bought out of Schwartz and Sandy's because of the loan, perhaps. Maybe he
oh,
has to sell the house, or like I don't know, something like that. It's totally a rumor. I don't know the truth, but I would assume she's in a place where she could potentially be able to buy him out at this point. I mean, she's
well,
made millions of
yeah,
dollars with these ads, so like
right?
buy him out.
Yeah, I was just thinking that while we were talking,
Unless
like,
just the amount owed on the house is significantly more because of this loan. I don't really know how that works. I'm a renter, so I don't
I
ever have
could
to worry
yeah,
about things like this yet.
my American dream is to like never own a home. It's too much responsibility.
Yeah. I waffle back and forth.
I just think of the people that I know who have like bought houses,
Yeah.
like especially young, or to me, what I consider young, and it's like one, it becomes their personality, and it just becomes like
Yeah,
such a
that's true.
time commitment.
And
Like,
money.
yeah, it's huge. Like, this is definitely going on a tangent, but
Mm,
I've seen some things lately that it's like our society has learned to not live in communities in the way that like people used to. Like, everybody doesn't need a lawnmower. You
sure.
could have like a lawnmower for like you and 4 or 5 of your neighbors and like take
Yeah.
turns using the lawnmower. But now we live in a society where like if you have a house with a lawn, you probably have a lawnmower or you
Right.
pay somebody to come mow your lawn,
Right.
and it's like I've always thought of things like that. I'm like, I never want to own a lawnmower. I don't want to have to shovel my own snow. And it's not me being like pretentious or whatever. It's just knowing that like my time, I want to use
Hmm.
it differently, and my money, I want to use it differently.
That's
Um
fair.
so in conclusion, you'll never catch me splitting a house with Tom Sandoval.
Yeah, well, same. Definitely same. Also, he just doesn't seem fiscally responsible. Let's just say that. Um, I don't know. Anything else coming out of this Rachel interview? I think, like we said,
The
she's not taking
dog stuff,
accountability.
she like
Yeah, she's
blames
like blamed
James
James.
for her golden doodle being bitey, which
Yeah, because she said that James likes getting bitten, so he would have the dog.
first of all, weird.
I don't even want to like give any that I can't even let it into my brain space.
Um but it seems now that like at least what we're being told, obviously like it's very easy to put a spin on a character who can't speak for himself, but it seems like Hippie, aka Graham, has gone to like training and is
Yeah.
learning to not bite or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah, they made it. We got some information on the dog that like either she would have had to leave her treatment to take care of the dog because like even a golden doodle rescue wouldn't have taken the dog
But
because of
didn't
its
they say they
biting.
took it to a golden doodle rescue? They gave the name. Her mom gave the name of the rescue that she
But
took the
then the
dog to.
rescue wouldn't keep it. So that's why they
Oh, so
contacted
okay.
Vanderpump Dogs. And then
I heard
Lisa
they took it to
Vanderpump.
a different shelter, no? And then that shelter got in touch with
Maybe,
Lisa?
I think the chip was
Oh, like a Vanderpump Dogs.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I mean like
It's giving Dorit. It's giving Lucy apple juice.
I just don't know why you would try to like villainize people over a dog because I feel like if anybody is going to have any not anybody, but a lot of people are going to be like the dog is not the bad guy here.
Yeah, I'm
And
taking the dog side 100% of the
like
time. I'm
I'm
taking the
glad
dog
that the
side.
dog didn't have to get euthanized. I'm glad that it's
Yeah,
been
me
housed
too.
with someone who loves it. Like
Yes.
that's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, there wasn't it for all the hype that it got.
Yeah,
It
it seemed like
didn't
nothing
give anything
groundbreaking.
that I was like, "Oh my gosh, I really do need to go and listen to this," and the summaries I'm getting on TikTok aren't enough.
I just feel blessed. Thank you, everyone on the internet, for all the hard work you put in listening to Bethany Frankel's voice week over week to give us recaps. Like, you are not getting paid for this. You're putting yourselves through this out of the goodness of your heart. And I appreciate it because I came out of this interview unscathed and I also came out of the Jill Zarin interview unscathed. And I know exactly what happened in both of them. So I never need to listen to Bethany Frankel's voice or
Those
see her
people get the
face if I
same
want to watch
amount
the video.
those people get the same amount of money that Raquel did for doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I've taken my turn on something like that. I did that with one of the end of season challenge podcasts for USA, the first one, and I was like live tweeting it and I had a lot of people that were just like, "Thank you so much." Because I do not want to listen to this.
Yeah,
And I was
I
like,
owe a lot of
"Me
people
neither.
something.
Me
There'll be a
neither."
time that I give back.
Yeah, I
Got to
feel
pay
like
it
I've
forward,
done
you
it
know?
once and I can say that I've done it. And if there
Yeah.
comes a time again where I'm like very interested in a subject, then maybe I'll do it. But someone usually beats me to it. I was just
Yeah, people are
very,
quick.
yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah. Well,
So
thank you again to everyone on the internet.
one last
And hopefully this
Vanderpump
is it.
thing.
Oh, yeah. Go
Have you
ahead.
seen Tom Schwartz's hair?
Oh, I sure have.
That is wild. It is bleach blonde. Like
These men are all going through a crisis.
I think he even said that when someone asked him about it. Like when TMZ asked him, he's like, "This is a result of a midlife crisis." Like, yeah, you are like post divorce and 40. Like this does track for something that like would fall under a behavior I would
Yeah.
maybe guess out of someone like you. So
Yeah, agreed. I think so. I first saw it when the world first saw it before he posted it, which I think was like the first round of bleach where it looked like yellow and horrible. And then I guess he got it done and toned and whatever it is you do when you get your hair professionally bleached, and it looks better, but it doesn't look good. This is
no.
like a thing that's happening now with men. They're all bleaching their hair. I don't know. Is it like Barbie? Is it Ken? Do you just want to be Kenuff? Like, I don't get it.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe. I don't know. Ugh, mess.
That's my last Vanderpump thing. I did see something about Lala responding to something, but I can't remember what it was. So I guess we can.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about this season as it continues to film and wrap. I think it wraps in September or something. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting one. It seems like anyway, but we'll see. All right. Let's move on to Real Houses of New York. This week was fine. Again,
This
it was
week-
fine.
I think this week was like, for me, there was a lot of lulls in it for me, but then
That's
there
how
were
I felt all
parts
season.
where I was like, this is actually like kind of wild. So,
Okay.
like for example, one part that really got me was Bryn's mom, nope, not Bryn's, Aaron's mom and Aaron's sister like dying for TV time to like call
Oh,
out the
yeah.
women for talking
Yes, that
during
was so ridiculous.
the 90s speeches that were given at this anniversary party. I know we're like skipping
Also,
towards the end, but
but can I just say who has a 12-year anniversary party that's so lavish like that?
it
It's
was
your
their
12-year,
it was their
10-year
10-year wedding.
anniversary, but
They've
they were
been
together for
to
12.
yeah.
Okay,
Because I
whatever.
also thought that at the beginning, and then they said something. I was like, well, this makes a lot more sense. But nonetheless,
It's only 10 years. It's not 25. It's
I
not
just don't
50.
understand like if why if you want to throw a party, just throw a party. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just like such a need to like be the center of
It was
attention.
just giving like I need an event for the show. So let's just throw an anniversary party.
But then to have that many people come up and tell stories, I
Yeah.
I would be talking through it too. Absolutely. I
Oh,
would
me
actually
too.
be something that I think I'm phenomenal at is like, making like I'm replying to the person who is speaking up there and just like
Yeah.
completely destroying
Oh,
their life,
yeah.
but obviously they don't hear me, just the people on each side of me do.
hmm
Um
hmm
and so I would be doing that for all hour and a half of the speeches that happen.
I just feel like Aaron should be happy that they got Bryn and Sai and Jenna talking at this party and not like Ramona and Dorinda and Sonia speaking over the sexual assault victim. Or I don't know.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it was sexual assault victim that was
Yeah.
in that show. That was like the most cringe. Like it could be a lot worse for you,
Mhm.
Aaron and Aaron's family. So please take this with grace. It's a party with 700 people. People are not all going to be quiet
And the fact
during
that like
75 different speeches. It's just not going to happen.
one of the women said like everyone is talking, and at that point I'm like, yeah, they just
Right.
want like their moment on television.
Of course. Of course. Yeah, that was embarrassing.
So that was a moment for me where I was like, okay, I'm kind of enjoying this because I also like seeing the women band together against a common enemy that is not one of them.
Yeah,
So it was fun.
agreed. I will say I'm taking a turn on Sai. I enjoyed her this episode.
I felt a kindred spirit to
Yeah.
Sai when she was like, I just want sushi. I just want sushi for like the entirety of the event, and then left the event to go get sushi, because
Yeah.
that is something I would 100% do.
Yeah.
I always want sushi. There's never a time where I don't
Yeah.
want sushi.
Well, I think Erin is like allergic to feeding people at her parties because once again, Sai was like, there's no food here and said the only food was pigs in a blanket. And she is a pescatarian. I am also a pescatarian and I also cannot eat pigs in a blanket. So if you're having a party that's sponsored by 85,000 different sponsors, not one of them can give you more food than fucking pigs in a blanket. I don't understand. You're at like I don't know where this party was, but it looked pretty lavish somewhere in New York City. You're telling me that there's not more food than that you could have passed around? That's ridiculous.
Heather Dubrow would have had at least $36,000 of Nobu at the party.
Oh yeah, she had $36,000 of Nobu for like 12 people. So yeah,
I would go to a Heather Dubrow party just for that. You can feed me Nobu. I can bite the bullet for free Nobu.
Yeah, I agree. I would as well. Especially since she threw 90% of that food out. So I'm still not over it. Years later, I'm not over it. I actually also was kind of enjoying Jessel and her husband this episode. I thought their whole sending the kids to preschool was pretty funny. And the whole banter of like
enraged by that part.
By Jessel or her husband? Obviously
by
Jessel.
I'm team husband through and through as a former public school teacher.
Yeah.
$62,000 for like you said, $62,000 for coloring. Like
literally. Also, when she was like, what kind of like, do you have anything else going on besides like your fried food association? He was like, it's the street food of America, whatever it was. That was pretty funny. I'm kind of liking the husbands. I don't really care for Erin's husband that much just because she's MAGA. So I assume he's also MAGA. They donated to Stop the Steal. But I'm liking Sai's husband. Where he's like, can I just wear my sweatsuit to this party? And she's like, no.
Also me.
And then he just didn't show up. And she's like, oh, he doesn't care that he's not here. I was just like, that's a mood. That's a mood.
Yeah, I I don't hate any of them, I guess is the best way of putting it.
Yeah. And you know how I feel about husbands on these
Yeah.
shows. I hate 90% of them. So, and I don't hate any
Mhm.
of them yet on this show. So that's a win.
Yeah, definitely. I cannot believe, like, I wouldn't sleep with my wife either if she wanted to send my kids to a
No.
$62,000 school. I mean, given it might be the other way around, but that is wild to me. I cannot get over
Yes.
that. Like, first and foremost, most teachers at your non-public schools don't have a teaching
Yeah.
certification.
Also, most teachers at your public schools probably aren't even making $63,000 a year. And
New
you're
York
willing to
City,
pay over a teacher's yearly salary to send your
yeah.
kid to a private preschool.
New York City teachers get paid decent, but also like cost of
Yeah.
living is high. So
Yeah.
like it really kind of negates itself. But the fact that like most, I don't know, I'll never get over that. But I shouldn't say they don't have certifications, but they like didn't go to school to be teachers and don't have like a formal whatever. I could talk about public versus private schools for a whole podcast in itself.
Yeah.
I was completely out on Jessel in this
Oh, yeah.
moment.
Out
You're
of
just like,
touch.
stop it.
I just
Stop
did a quick
everything you're
Google.
saying.
Starting salaries for teachers in New York City range $61,000 a year to $83,000 a year. $83,000 if you have a master's degree, and 8 years of something. So 8 years teaching experience. So like, fuck off, Jessel. Give that money to a teacher. Yeah. I also thought it was funny that she was like, they'll learn Mandarin, and he's like, they can barely speak English. Like they're two. Like they barely
Yeah.
speak English. It was pretty funny. Jenna Lyons apparently has a very good friendship with the girl whose name I'm forgetting from Schitt's Creek, who played like the girl that works at the motel. She's like the motel manager, which it took me forever to figure out that was her. I just figured it out today. I watched it live on Sunday.
Something about me is that I hate sitcoms, and so I've never watched.
Fair.
Schitt's
I hate
Creek.
most sitcoms.
But I also want to. I probably should have made this statement earlier. I watched this show also while heavily medicated on
Yes.
Mucinex D and other cold and sinus medications yesterday. So it didn't keep my attention enough. In addition to the fact that my head felt like and still feels like a balloon
No, it's fair.
filled with water. So
we were just watching it and we were like, we know who that is, but who is that? And
remember there being a scene. I just don't remember much.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. There wasn't a lot where I was like, I feel compelled to like really tune into this right now.
Yes, something that I keep remembering from like the second or third episode of the show that I keep forgetting to bring up, and I'm remembering it now, so I will bring it up even though it's way out of date. The most unhinged thing I think I've ever heard on a Real Housewives show is someone ordering an espresso martini with tequila. And that's what Jessel ordered when they were in the Hamptons at that restaurant. And I just felt like I had to mention that because it just lives rent free in my head, but I never remember to talk about it on the podcast. So I had to acknowledge it, even though it's weeks of old information.
As we know, my partner is a
yes.
bartender, a professional bartender, and I'm going to ask him about that really
Yeah,
quickly.
please ask him if he's ever heard of anyone ordering that, because like, what the actual fuck? Tequila and an espresso martini?
An espresso. Oh shit, I have to spell espresso. E-S. Okay, there we go. We got there. I was trying to put 2 S's or 2 P's, and neither was right until I got to the double S.
There's 2 S's at the end, yeah.
I got there. Yeah. Espresso martini.
Keep us updated, because I need to know if he's ever heard anyone order this.
As the spirit. He'll be excited that I use the term as the
spirit. That sounded very professional.
All right. I sent the text.
Thank you.
He's going to be like, why are you saying dumb shit to me again? So it's fine.
Well, that'll validate that it's dumb shit to order that drink. That's all I really have on Roni this week. It's like chugging along. My main takeaway is that I don't hate the husbands on this show, and I'm coming around on Sai. Also, we missed Uba at the party, which is,
I was about
you
to
know, a
say
bummer.
that. Imagine if like Aaron's mom had come up or sister had come up and Uba was there. I feel like she would have just gotten louder.
Yeah, I would have hoped so. I feel like Bryn was starting to get louder. I feel like she was like, well, are you going to say that to everybody else in the room that's talking?
Yeah, Bryn's like, if you don't shut up, I'll fuck your dad. So
Oh yeah, I guess the drama of the episode that we didn't even talk about, or that's going to come from this episode, is that Bryn made a joke to Aaron's husband that because they didn't say vows that they're not officially
mhm,
married. So she was like, "Oh, don't say Bryn," and she, I guess, was posting on the internet saying like it was a joke based on Friends
mhm.
because Ross said Rachel's name instead of whatever. So,
Oh,
but there's a lot of drama that seems to be coming from this. And it seems like she has been responding on Instagram to people commenting about it. So I don't really care that much, but this stuff all feels manufactured to me. Like, who actually cares?
mhm. I don't know if it feels manufactured, but I kind of like that it's nothing. I like that it's kind of like low scale drama at the moment, where it's like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
isn't anything that we can't bounce back from.
Oh, totally.
I
Totally.
do have 3 things that I want to bring up about Roni
Okay.
before we leave.
I'm
1,
ready.
Lavelle said, "Absolutely," for
What?
rum. Yes.
Ew. Well, rum makes more sense than tequila. Ew. I'm shocked.
So
Okay.
so
Does that
there's
mean I have
that.
to try it? Maybe I'll have to
I
try it.
2, what did you think of the husband using, like, Grateful Dead lyrics as, like, his speech?
Gotta be honest, totally zoned out.
I actually
Didn't even realize.
rewound because I realized he was, like, using a song because he was like, "These lyrics work for, like, anything," and I was like, "Who is he quoting?" I wasn't expecting it to be the Grateful Dead.
Yeah. No, I didn't wasn't paying
And
attention that closely to their vows. Also, Aaron's vows were a little like cringe.
yeah, like, what was it, like, having water for me on the table or something like that? Like, that's her, like, big
Yeah.
thing that her husband does to show that he loves her. Like, wow, I am convinced that you guys are meant to be. Like, and then how
Yeah.
she, like, explained she, like, kind of mansplained attraction to
Yeah.
everyone. Like,
Yeah.
if we weren't attracted, meaning if we didn't want to have make babies with each other, like, thank you.
Yeah, like we
I
get
I
it.
understand.
The
The
weird thing about her vows was that like it just felt like she was reading them. They made such a big deal that they never said vows, and they were like, "This is
Mhm.
our moment to say the vows." And I was not paying attention to his, obviously, but hers were so like. First of all, she was like interrupting herself because she was shushing people, and I'm like,
Yeah.
just ignore it. Like, who fucking cares? Whatever. It was just weird, and like reading off a phone with like no emotion whatsoever. I was just like, "Do you even want to do
I
this?"
I hate that, like, reading off your phone has become a thing that is just kind of accepted when people
Yeah,
make speeches. Um, and I found myself thinking that during this. I've had that thought before,
it
but
just looks very
I can't
casual.
imagine yeah, like, if you're making this you have this expensive party with, like, 700 people in this grandioso fucking place, and then you're there on your, like,
Your
iPhone
notes app.
13 from your notes app reading the
Yeah.
vows. Commit it to memory.
Or
Please.
like handwrite it. I don't know. It just feels like when I'm picturing her just sitting at like on the couch being like tick, 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 on her phone, like
Yeah.
typing away her vows. And I'm like, write it in a fucking piece of paper.
Yeah.
Handwrite it with a goddamn pen. Just come
Mhm.
on. What are we doing here?
Yes. I don't like that people
I
do
don't
that
like it
in
either. I'm
general.
with you.
Even like best man or like maid of honor speeches at
Yeah,
I don't like that. It to
I don't like it either.
I
Get
don't know.
index cards. How much do they cost?
Come on. CVS has them.
Seriously.
The last thing is I do think that Queens of Bravo is getting money to
Oh, you
hype
do?
up. Yes. Just
Okay, tell
look
me
at
why.
their tweets about Roni versus like their tweets about any of the other Real Housewives shows.
Except
And
for
it just
Robin.
seems
They love
well, they
Robin.
love Robin.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem like a paid sponsorship. It just seems
No,
like
they
they
stand
will
Robin.
not yeah, they're not gonna leave that wagon regardless of what happens. Where this does feel like the way that they present things and it like I love the way that these two entirely different women, Erin and Jessel, have this conversation of just being different but in the same like it's just like it's
Yeah.
different. And there's very little like negative where right now they're in the middle of like posting clips of Kenya's podcast interview somewhere and like
Yeah, I saw
dragging
that.
her ass through shit. Like
I saw
it
that.
doesn't seem like I think that there might be a little bit of a paid sponsorship.
Yes. I don't disagree with you. I also think yeah, 8 hours ago, the Real Houses of New York leaps to its second highest overnight ratings of the season! Exclamation point. Jessel's impact. I know that's right. Yeah, and everything else is kind of like a little shady.
Which I
Yeah.
like about them, but this just seems like different than their normal shit. So that's why I think there's a monetary
Yes.
incentive. But I mean, like, if you're going to get paid to gas this up and Raquel can't get paid to do her first interview after the biggest scandal that in reality TV in years, get your money,
Yeah.
Queens of Bravo.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't really think too much about it, but now I kind of agree with you. And they also are hyping up next week's episode, being like the drama coming out of it. And I'm like, do I care
Yeah.
about this? I don't care about this. Interesting. Well, pay us. I'll be nicer about the show if you want to pay us, Bravo. We have
Yeah.
3 live watchers right now.
I can be nice for money.
Yeah, same. We could do it. It's interesting because I mentioned that I listened to Danny Pellegrino's Everything Iconic podcast before. He's also doing, we've never talked about this, but I don't know if you watch And Just Like That, but it's the train wreck that I can't look away from. And all I want to do is talk about it and complain about how fucking ridiculous it is, but I can't
What
stop
is it?
watching it. It's the new Sex and the City, basically. It's like the Sex and the City reboot. It's a train wreck, but he does recaps of that too, and they're hilarious. But he also isn't really a huge fan of the new Roni. So that makes me think they're not paying everybody to talk about it, because he has a pretty big podcast. So I would be surprised that he's also not getting paid if there are people getting paid. So
I feel like it's harder to pay someone who uses their voice.
That's true. To like recap it.
I mean, we do not know who Queens of Bravo is. It could be
we have no idea.
Some like 72-year-old white man behind the keyboard.
Ew,
or it could be like 4 18-year-old interns rotating through working for free, like, or for the money that they get for hyping up Roni. So
true.
I think
Honestly,
it's a lot
kind of
easier
iconic to be an anonymous account.
Yeah, have you ever heard of, this is a little like sidetrack adjacent thing. There's this girl who super into like the Memphis Grizzlies, but like boys wouldn't talk to her about it in school, and she was in like either late middle school or early high school, so she created an anonymous Twitter account, and it just like became really big. And people talked to her like she was a guy, and she was like, I don't know why, because like I used relatively feminine like language. I never said I was a man. And then
misogyny.
Right. And she went to college, and maybe in like her sophomore-ish year of college, she like announced who she is because she wants to do sports journalism, and now she's able to use like, well, look at the platform I've created. And so yeah, it is kind of interesting that like you really don't like, there are popular accounts that we all follow that who knows
could be your biggest enemy from high school or elementary school.
One of my
could be your mom.
Yeah, I don't trust my.
It's definitely not my mom.
Yeah, but
no, my mom's not funny. So it could. Sorry.
One of my like camp best friends has told us that she runs a very successful like meme, satire, jokey type of account on Twitter, and won't tell us like which one it is. Yeah.
Oh, I would be dying to know.
I mean, because I heard it so long ago, like I definitely did some sleuthing and I just couldn't figure it out. But it's crazy because like I could be following the account and I don't know that this is someone that I like shared a wall with for 60 straight nights during, and like have traveled all across the country with or whatever. And so you just don't know. But
here's also the thing, and I think about this because I and I've gone on rants about this with Threads, maybe on this podcast, I don't really know, but like really like to keep my internet life and my real life very separate. Like I don't like people in my real life to know that I podcast or that I stream or that I do, maybe one day, but like I just don't. I keep it all separate. Like all the reality TV stuff is in one bucket, and then my like life is in another bucket. For people who I'm not close to, people I'm close to know, but you know, the people that like you've met through work, who follow you on Instagram, or like friends you've fallen out of contact with, I don't need them to know what I'm doing with my life. Okay.
Right.
So I've thought about signing up. I have a TikTok account, but I don't post on it. And I've thought about like posting streaming clips or whatever. And it's so hard to stay anonymous on the internet.
Yeah.
In the year 2023, because it's just like, share this with every single one of your contacts. And I'm like, no. No. How about don't share anything with any of my fucking contacts?
Please,
like, leave me alone.
I have 10 years of failed online dates in my contacts.
Yeah, like, I don't need every former coworker that I've ever had who I have their phone number to know what I'm up to in my life. Like, leave me the fuck alone. I don't know. I just like to keep that shit separate. So that's why I don't like really use TikTok, because I feel like it just always is like, here's a TikTok from someone in your contact. I'm like, I don't ever want to see this. I don't care. I'm here to watch Pedro Pascal thirst traps and NSYNC videos on TikTok. That's what I'm here for. Okay. That's the only reason I'm here. Let me live. Okay.
Please.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. That's my tangent. Anyway, anything else on Real House of New York?
No, but
or anything related to anything, apparently, because we're just talking at this point.
I mean, we like tie it back together.
Yeah.
No, I'm ready to go to Atlanta.
All right. Me too. Full disclosure, I fell asleep for like 10 minutes of the beginning of this episode, so I missed like part of it. I don't know what part I missed. I just know I missed some of it.
The beginning was like Drew acting.
Yeah, I saw part of that. I think that's where I fell asleep. Sorry, Drew. Doesn't bode well for your movie, Todd. But can we talk about how weird it is that they're filming this movie in their fucking house?
Yeah, that like Drew is having lesbian sex in Candy and Todd's bed.
Yeah, weird. That like, is weird.
It's fine. Like, talk about saving on a budget.
I don't know how I would feel about this personally.
This is like the OnlyFans of like filmmaking.
Right. And Todd's like, I gotta make this movie. The director's here. We're doing a table reading. We have an intimacy coordinator. But it's like, but we're filming it in our house. We're hiring all of our friends. But then Todd is also like, I have a vision for this girl on a G-string on top of you. And you're like making faces, grabbing the sheet. I'm like, so like, are you directing a like kind of a porn, like, or your fantasy, or is this like an actual movie, or maybe it's like OnlyFans content? I don't know. It's weird. They're making it seem like it's like a real movie, but it's very clearly not a real movie.
I guess like the definition of movie can be subjective.
Yeah, they're like, my guy Tyler Perry, shout out to him. He always said like, use things you own. I'm like, I don't know if he meant like his bed.
Listen,
in Tyler his Perry bedroom.
Came up with one of the dumbest ideas for Survivor, so I trust nothing that man says.
I know
that and Maddie or whatever that thing. Like, I'm glad you got your money, Tyler Perry, but stay the fuck out of the things that I enjoy.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Mattia?
I don't know.
Medea.
I just added an extra few EAs in
Medea,
there.
I think. Yeah.
I think I was going for what is it in Entourage, like Medellin or something like that?
Yeah, it's Medellin.
I think I combined the two as I mean, could you imagine having a podcast going back right now on August 22nd, 2023 and like recapping Entourage?
I would 1000% do it.
Oh, I've watched it multiple times. But it did not age well in the slightest.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. I don't even feel like it aged well in like the year after it came out. I would recap Entourage.
Medellin, yes. Every time I had to drive to JFK when I was working in the summer at a summer camp in like my big 15-passenger van that looked like I was not picking up kids but kidnapping them, I always had to get off at Queens Boulevard, and I'm like, Vinny, where are you at?
I know. I still think about. I live in Queens, and I frequent Queens Boulevard, and I still think about Entourage. But honestly, you're giving me an idea to recap the Entourage podcast. I mean, the Entourage show, whatever, on a podcast. I'm going to think about it. Don't steal our idea. all three of you watching us live right now.
Trademark, copyright,
Yeah, we're copyright
cease
now.
and desist.
Yeah. Um, so that's the last thing I remember until we get to the sip and see. So I don't know how much of this episode I missed while I was sleeping, but I didn't go back, full disclosure.
So Ralph came to set, and Ralph
Okay, I
was
missed
like
that.
in full blown like horny man watching
Of
like
course.
lesbian porn for the third time in his life, maybe. And
Yeah, like bro, just Google it.
right. So, but he didn't get to see anything. And actually, Drew was like, I don't appreciate the way that he's like talking to me about this because it doesn't seem like he respects what I'm doing. And so, like,
Yeah, he
she
doesn't
tried to
respect
get
my
me
fake
to leave.
movie.
He doesn't respect Drew, period.
That's true.
So,
That's a good point.
there was that. I don't think we got a lot of Marlo.
I don't recall seeing much of Marlo in this because she wasn't at the sip and see, right?
Oh, she had an event. She
Right,
had a
okay.
Foster Friday
Oh,
event.
yes. There was drama about this week because Kenya said they cut out an event that she had, but
Oh,
they showed
really?
this. Yeah, I think this was on the podcast that's getting like blown up this week. But
Oh,
Kenya said that she also had an event but they cut it and it was supposed to
oh.
be featured on the show.
Yeah, the Marlo part of this was the Foster Friday event. Or she does
Got it. Okay.
Foster Fridays, and then there was like a foster care event.
Good for Marlo putting her energy
and
into something positive.
Sheree almost didn't show up because she was like doing food tasting for the sip and see.
Okay.
She showed up
So
with
I
like
missed
30
a
minutes
lot.
left. It didn't
Well,
blow up. Marlo definitely took the high road with it, but there was
okay,
definitely
good.
comments made before where it's like, where is she? Like, this
Yeah,
isn't even like your party. It's for your grandkid. Calm down.
right. Yeah. I want to talk about Bob Whitfield. That's the only thing I want to talk about. And I want to talk about all these women in the room talking about Bob Whitfield because that was the best part of this. I mean, I fell asleep for half of it, so maybe there was better stuff, but this to me was the chunk of the episode.
This might be the best part of like the entire season.
I agree.
Right
this gave me like I just loved every second of everything that was happening here because it was so wild to me that Bob Whitfield, Sheree's ex-husband, just shows up with a woman. No one knows who she is. She just gets into a family photo with Sheree's other kids. And everyone's like, "Who's that girl? Is that Bob's girl?" Like, but they kept saying, "Is that his girl?" And I'm like, "Well, kinda. It's his daughter." I don't know. It was wild. And they were like, "She's kind of young. I mean, whatever, but she's kind of young."
And then like Sheree pulls Martell because she thought that Bob was pulling his girlfriend.
Yeah, but it was his fucking daughter. I can't.
But apparently, like her kids knew that.
Yeah, this is weird.
I know you love her for these reasons, but these are the reasons that I'm like, I don't understand how you function as a human. Like, how are you not, and how are we not seeing you pulling like Cairo to the side by his fucking tie and be like, I'm throwing your baby the biggest party that I'm probably not going to pay anybody for because
the baby fell asleep immediately. So who was this party really for? Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably like a blessing that the baby slept. Like everybody, like the sleeping baby, don't touch it. Great, now let's all get drunk. But like, how do you not pull your son by the bow tie or whatever he's wearing and be like, the fuck you mean you've known you have a sister?
Not even him, but
know about
her daughter. I feel like is even more like, guys don't even, not to generalize, but most guys would just be like, I don't know, whatever. And he's like younger, so maybe he just didn't, I don't know. But like her daughter's older. You would think that her daughter would be like, by the way, met my sister. I met my sister the other day, my older sister. I don't know. It's so wild. And then he just introduces Sheree to her, and Sheree's like, oh, what? Are you going to tell me the story? She like borderline didn't even care. Like Candy cared more.
Yes.
Candy cared more. And she was like, hold on a second.
Like it's moments like this where I'm like, I love Candy.
Yeah, this was good Candy content.
When you know that like when Candy speaks up, she's not going to back off of it. And she just was going directly to the point.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like a lot of them, well, I mean, Candy's also known them for 2 decades
Apparently,
maybe
she's
at this
known Bob
point.
since she was 19 years old,
Oh, yeah, so then, like, you're
which is
calling out
wild.
I
Also,
love that she was
or
just like, "Who
Kenya
is
also
this?"
said she's. Oh no, maybe she said 19 years.
Kenya knew, uh,
Bob when he was married to
Bob,
Sheree because he was cheating
but
on
he
her
was
with Kenya's
cheating
friend.
on her. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how Kenya knows
and
him.
then Candy said she knew him since she was 19 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently Bob Whitfield gets around, has a reputation, clearly, since he has a secret
Yeah.
kid. But he was just like, I'm not talking, like, it's my business, whatever. She comes around, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, he was like, at that point, Sheree was on a need to know basis. Yeah, but you ended up marrying her. So, like,
Yes. And they were married for a while.
yeah. So, my first thought when I heard him, because I was multitasking, I was like, why are we still allowing this man to even appear
I
on
know.
this show? And then I remembered, like, oh, it is his, or I didn't
Yeah, it's
remember,
his
but it was
son. Yeah,
when,
it's his grandchild.
um, yeah, when she's like, this is his first, I was like, oh, okay,
I
like,
know. I was like,
valid, I
what's he
guess.
doing here? Yeah.
But then it led to like one of the best moments of the season where they're all just
I
like,
would say
what
it's the best
do you
moment.
mean?
Yeah. They were all like, what? I don't know. There's like all of them having the same reaction was just so funny. Even Sonia was like, this is the second time I met Bob Whitfield, and this is like the last time I want to meet Bob Whitfield. I was just like, this is wild. And then at the end, Sheree was like, they got into a picture. She's like, that's why I pulled in Martell, because I thought it was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is so absolutely ridiculous in every sense of the word ridiculous, but I loved it. This is why Real Housewives of Atlanta, even in its maybe worst season, one of its worst seasons, can't be matched because of things like this. We have moments. There's moments that shine through, and this was absolutely one of them.
Um, I I don't know how or why people like still willingly do things for Sheree that are going to cost them money that they expect to be paid,
Me
because
neither.
that party with like no budget, I don't think where does Sheree get money from?
Bravo.
Does she have a trust fund? Yeah, but not like it can't
Rachel
be
got
enough.
paid $375,000 a season. Sheree has to be getting paid more than that. She's a full-time housewife.
I don't disagree, but like you have to think of the money that Sheree has spent, like that house alone, whatever the mortgage is on that. I mean, even like this type of party, and I don't think she either has a money tree, she has a trust fund,
Credit cards.
there's something. Yeah, she is running up like Amex, which by the way, did you see that Kim Zolciak's daughter is being sued by Amex?
Yep. Like mother, like daughter.
Yeah, when she said like the budget is there is no budget, I was like, well, good luck ever getting paid, my guy. Like, you're gonna be a storyline next season. I'm sure you'll be popping up being like, that sip and see. Yeah, I didn't see any money.
Yeah. Well, good luck, Mr. American Express, getting your bill paid. She'll be the next one getting sued. I don't know. Maybe her mom has money, because I remember back in the day, what's her mom's name? Kenny used to call it Chateau Thelma. Because she said it was in her mom's name. She used to call Chateau Sheree Chateau Thelma. And she I don't know, maybe she's getting money from Bob still, but her kids are over 18. So
Bob
and he wasn't
said
even
that,
paying.
like,
Yeah, he wasn't even paying child support.
There's no way he's bringing in. He's probably asking for $500 to show up at that party. Like,
probably. I mean, he was a football player, right? I don't know how he managed his millions, but if it's anything like Croy Bierman,
I was going to say, football players are the statistically like highest professional athlete to like percentage wise go bankrupt. There's an interesting 30 for 30 on it that came out a while ago, but yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but I remember Bart Starr being in it, and he was like really funny.
Interesting.
But yeah. Plus, like, their careers are so much shorter than like most other
they
sports.
seem to get paid a lot less than baseball players and NBA players. So
yeah. And so when it's like your career is 7-ish years versus like there's baseball players who are playing. I mean, Tom Brady just played till 45, but like that's a anomaly. So no, I don't.
No shade to baseball players, but what do you?
You're also people I get mad at. to that
Me?
how much money you get paid. No,
Oh, I was
baseball
like, me for
players.
hating baseball players?
No, no,
You
no.
stand in an outfield and like occasionally a ball comes to you. Wow. Anyway,
I
whatever.
mean, I'll defend baseball. I just don't defend their salary.
Okay, that's
They
also
get
fair.
paid a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I as soon as this, my only thought during this whole party until we got to Bob's mystery daughter was,
Yeah,
who
the
was paying
money.
for this?
Yes, it was over the
Who?
top. Over the top. And also, my other thought is like, what time was this party? Because when Drew showed up, it was dark out. And what time
At
does
one
this
point,
baby go to sleep?
Sonia said that they had been there for 2.5 hours and they hadn't seen the baby. And I think I remember someone saying like, "What? Oh, Candy." Was it that event where Candy was like, it started at 4, but I wasn't showing up at 4 because I knew no one would be here?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember.
I
It
could
was
have been
that
sleeping
came
at
up
that
this
point.
week. It was either for
For that or for Marlo?
yeah, but I don't know if she was at Marlo's thing. I don't think she
Probably
would have
not.
been invited to Marlo's thing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, yeah,
um,
because when Drew got there, it was like dark. And I was like, what time does this baby go to bed?
what about Drew and okay, first of all, I didn't even realize that was it Anthony,
I
the
think so.
guy that I didn't realize that was the same guy from last year.
When I saw him, I realized that was the guy that was at her house, but I didn't know that they had a falling out. Because wasn't that guy coming for Sheree, saying Sheree, he knew Sheree, or her assistant, she didn't pay him?
There was
Wasn't that
that
the
whole
whole thing
drama
last year?
last year.
So why is it
Yeah.
Sheree's party? I'm
But they
confused.
said that they made up after the reunion.
Okay. And she called
And
Ralph gay. He called
Sheree,
Ralph gay.
yeah. And he introduced Sheree and Martell.
Oh, yes. Okay. Interesting. How does he know
So
Martell?
that's
Well, he
it was
threw a shoe at Drew,
explained.
apparently.
I can't remember. Yeah, so Drew's like, I'm not going in there. He assaulted me, which first of all, how did she know he was in there?
She said she saw him walking the door, and that's so she was like,
Oh,
someone's
okay,
looking out for
okay.
me because if I showed up just a minute later, I wouldn't have seen him walk in the house and I would have been in there with him.
Yeah,
And like,
and
no, not that I'm saying, I just, when I hear assault, I think, I mean, I guess it's assault to throw a shoe at someone, but it's just not where my head goes. I'm
I
not
mean,
taking anything away
there's
from Drew's experience. I get that. I guess technically is assault, but I just when she said that, I was like, "Whoa!" And then when I realized it was him and he just like threw a shoe at a club, I was like, "Oh no!" I mean, like that's not a big deal, but that's not what I was expecting.
mhm. There are cultures where that's how you raise children is like the chanclas
Sure,
off.
yeah, sure.
You're out running it. So, no, I thought that I think it was Sheree that made the point of like we're adults, like we can all be in one place and like
Do you think it was a
coexist and be
setup?
fine.
I don't think Sheree would have set up Drew at her daughter's. I mean, her granddaughter's supposedly her granddaughter's party like that at her own house. Like that seems a little too messy for Sheree
I
at
don't
her
think
own
it was a
house.
setup. I just think that she was just trying to invite as many people as possible.
Yeah, I think
It's
that too.
also got to be so difficult to remember like who's
Who hates
beefing with
who?
who
Yeah,
that like show up or don't or just ignore each other. Like
right,
or I guess like bring an extra pair of shoes to throw so
right,
you're armed and ready.
right. Totally. I don't know. Well, next week is our finale.
I was surprised when I was like, "Oh shit, we're at the finale already." I feel like the Drew thing got hyped up a lot of like
Like weeks
she's
ago, and then we
getting
never heard anything
divorced
about it.
for this like lesbian relationship she was in, and I thought we would get more of that sooner, and I don't know if we're going to see much next week of it. And
In the
so I felt
preview, it
like
did show something, but it didn't give a lot that was going to be like the focus of the episode.
right. I thought we were going to get like more of that throughout the second half of the season based off like
Me too.
the mid-season trailer. So I was kind of surprised when they're like season finale, which like I'm also not mad that it's the season finale,
No, me
but
neither.
I was
Especially
definitely
because
surprised.
Salt Lake is going to start soon.
Oh,
I know.
that's all I have to say. It's not
I
even a
know.
word.
Yeah, they're getting the Sandoval treatment, it looks like, because it says like 1 month after filming in the preview that they brought the cameras back. I guess to get everybody's reaction. I mean, you know, whatever. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. Do we think we're going to get a 3-part reunion this season?
I hope not.
I hope not to, but I'm sure we will.
Um, I don't think that there's like a need to do a 3-part reunion since they've had these after shows for like half of the season, which I also
Yeah.
watched again this week.
Oh, how was
Um,
it?
fine. Like
Okay.
there wasn't anything said that you can definitely tell that when they like recorded this that Drew is like in the process of a divorce or like is divorced
Mm,
versus so like that's probably like the only distinction, but I think she like does a decent job of like putting herself back in like where she was at that moment.
yeah.
When she's talking on the show, she isn't there being like, "Well, if I knew now what I knew that," like that type
Yeah.
of thing, or if I knew then what I knew now. Like she isn't approaching it that way. She is taking like, "Well, at this point, we were blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she really isn't talking about the divorce on there, but you can tell that like not that she's struggling to, but it's like conscientious of let me approach it from this
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But otherwise, I have nothing to report from it.
Okay. Well, we'll see what they bring us on Sunday for our finale. Um, any other last Atlanta thoughts before we move across the world to Captain
I do have
Jason in Asia?
last Housewives thought that I forgot to bring up
Sure.
with Brony. I saw a TikTok of Jill Zarin packing a
Oh,
full
Diet Coke.
checklist of Diet
Hmm.
Coke because they don't have it where she was going.
Yeah, I don't know where she was going. Oh, she said in Europe they only have Coke Zero and Coke or something. Is that what she said?
Yeah, and
Honestly,
like
relatable as fuck.
I just
Truthfully.
I just can't imagine like not being able to find something that will last me for the I mean,
I'm
how many
sure
days is
I
she
would
there
be
for?
fine. Yeah, I mean, I've been away and not had Diet Coke many times. Like, I would be fine, but who knows the addiction that she's facing. Strangely, though, I was thinking, this is Diet Coke related, that if I ever went on Big Brother, I don't think they have Diet Coke in the house. I've never seen them drink soda. Maybe they do, but I don't recall them seeing them drinking soda. And that's where I feel like if I were on Big Brother for 100 days, I would have a little bit of an issue with not drinking Diet Coke.
I think you have a question lined up for your next exit interview.
I'm going to
Hey,
write it
do you guys
down.
drink? I
Do
mean,
you have access to Diet Coke?
yeah.
I need to know.
Or just like what drinks in general.
Yeah.
I don't need a Diet Coke every day by any means. Like,
No, but when I need a Diet Coke, I need a fucking Diet Coke. Like if I get the hit for it or whatever, like I need it.
for me, it's more so I just get bored of water. Like, if my only
Yeah.
thing to drink in there was water, that would be tough for me. I like
Hmm.
fun drinks. Like right
Me
now,
too.
oh, I bought a Gatorade when I went to buy more medicine. There is a Diet Coke here. Does chloroseptic throat spray count as a drink?
Sure,
But
it counts. We can count
like
it.
I like to have different types of liquids. I like a fun drink.
Yeah. Me too. Valencia says I would be like Felicia. I don't know, Carrie, if you've seen
Yeah, when she's like
Felicia. Mr.
speaking to
B,
the
Mr. B, I need a Diet Coke. Mr. B, that would be me in the house. Yeah.
that would be your whole HOH basket.
It
Just
would be
like,
just a bunch of Diet Cokes
can I
and
get a 12 pack
iced
of Diet
coffee would be
Cokes?
another thing, but I could always just make my own. That's not the end of the world is iced coffee, but that those are my two main drinks is Diet Coke and iced coffee and water. But
Mhm.
like I use a lot of liquid IV in my water sometimes, which like I don't know if they have liquid IV in the Big Brother house. They do have electrolytes, but anyway, whatever. We're really going off on a tangent here, but I am really
It did start with
imagining a scenario that I'll never be in. So
Real Housewives.
it did.
It's
That's
Jill
true.
Zarin's fault.
I sent you the picture of me and Jill Zarin, right?
Yes, you did.
Yes. I was inebriated that evening because I left work and my boss was in town. We went out to get drinks as a a work function. And we were also it was supposed to be drinks and dinner, but the dinner was like one plate of scallops split between four people. So like it was
Oh,
not
so
dinner.
Aaron was feeding you dinner? There was
Basically
no
it was
food?
like I was at Aaron's house. So we were, we were drinking and then of course I got drunk because there was no food. So, by the time I got to this Big Brother karaoke party and saw Jill Zarin, I was quite inebriated. She did not care to speak to me. I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast, but she did not care to speak to me.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't give a fuck that I wanted to talk to her. I was just like, plus I was like, Jill, you're beautiful. Take my pic. So I was like a little, but she was like, like she didn't want to be anywhere near me. She didn't care. She was not impressed. And let me tell you, everybody there was there for Big Brother people, not for Jill Zarin. She didn't care. I also met Kyle Cook, and he was wonderful. Yes, I sent you that picture too, right?
Yeah,
he was great.
I've read on the subreddit a lot that like he is always so nice,
very personable, very nice.
Which I mean, especially for him, I think like his brand rests on not like if like Kyle Cook told me to fuck off, like I am spreading like wildfire to where like if Jill Zarin tells you to fuck off, you're not gonna be like, well, don't go drink her favorite drink, Diet Coke. So
no, but she was not what I expected her to be a little bit more excited about Bravo fans, and she was not excited at all. She was like,
I mean, like I'm sure that there was some sort of like appearance fee, but like you have to.
She can't be getting paid that
reality,
much,
right? At this point in your reality TV career, like you know that type of scene, like
sure,
to go and act like that, just don't go.
I know. I was a little disappointed by her. What can you do? Whatever, Jill.
I'm surprised, especially because you might have had a couple of drinks, that you weren't like, okay, fuck you, MAGA bitch, or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's probably for the best that I didn't, but I was like, wait, she was kind of a bitch, right? Like she wasn't cool. Like I had to like question myself. Yeah, she wasn't great. You know who else also did not give a fuck? Dina from the Jersey Shore. she was also hammered, so she was not trying to be around anybody. She was just dancing, having her own time. But we were trying to talk to her. She was not interested.
It's funny you bring up Jersey Shore because that once I finished this season of Love Island that I didn't watch that aired during the winter, I'm gonna rewatch all of Jersey Shore so I can.
Oh, it's so good.
Catch up to Sammy because like I was in and out of the like family reunion.
Me too. I stopped after like the second family reunion season or third.
I stopped when like it was just hard to watch them give Ronnie a platform.
That's when I stopped. I think the third season, wherever they were in Vegas and it got like real bad, that's when I stopped.
Yeah. I was like, this is not great. So, but I've been seeing TikToks of like Sammy back and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I would like to see her.
So I think I'm just going to start it from the beginning and watch all of the Jersey. So that's coming soon.
It's great. That's another podcast I want to do is a Jersey Shore rewatch. I proposed it to Isaiah. We never got off the ground. But
we can take it off the ground, but we'll talk offline. We'll talk off StreamYard.
I'm in. All right. Below Deck. Let's get into it. What are your thoughts?
My first thought. Joel isn't as bad as he used to be.
I agree. And I hate that.
At least as of right now. Yeah. I mean, in one way, it's like, oh, I liked hating you. But at the same time, like, I'm glad that he's grown and
we love growth.
Yeah.
We talked about it yesterday about Pauly Calafiore. We love growth.
Yeah. So I'm glad because also like him and Aisha did not have a good experience together. No. And so, especially for like Aisha more than anything, like I'm glad that he's not being a douche.
What I liked was that he was asking her for advice and she was like, wow, he's actually like treating me with a respect of a department head. Like, that's great.
And he's making me, but like the deckhands are making me like the deckhands less because they're just so like disillusioned to what they think is actually happening. Like when he's like, oh, I'm gonna go to bed at 11, it's like, oh, he left like 30 minutes early when he was actually like cleaning up parts of the boat that like no one else would think to clean.
Are unmatched because they just were like splicing them complaining about how lazy he is while they were literally doing nothing, and he was like going around the entire boat working the entire time and going to bed after he said he was going to go to bed because he was working. And they're like, what is he doing, bro? It's like we're here by ourselves. I was like, this is actually so embarrassing for them.
Yeah. Yes.
Also, what a fall from grace for Culver.
I've never really been a Culver
See,
fan.
I didn't watch last season, so I don't know much about. But when he came on, he seemed nice.
The quick summary of Culver last season was he started off like kind of green, but also
Hmm.
like was always this big personality who was willing to like the chief entertainment officer thing. But
Yeah.
then like towards the end of the season, he started slipping and like the last charter, um Jason let them all have like one drink with the guests and he had like 5 or 6 beers and was like in the hot tub with
Oh
guests and
yeah, no, you
Jason
can't do
was
that.
like, dude, what the fuck? I know you're drunk right now.
Yeah.
Um so I was like kind of surprised to see Culver back this
Yeah.
season. And but like he's not the type of character I like really
Yeah.
on Below Deck. So yeah, but I mean he quickly made a choice. He did a fast 180.
Before we get there, I do want to ask you your opinion about Culver and Harry in the ocean with the porn star guests and Joao and
Oh,
Adam, not Alex, Adam, because I used the name
yeah.
Alex for like 2 hours last time we talked. Watching with binoculars, and Joao was like, "This is not like a guest and crew experience." Do you feel like that was warranted, or do you feel like that was like a little over the top from Joao? Because I was like, "Come on, Joao, the people are
I
like begging them to come in. They're showing them a good time. It's for the tip. Like,
mhm.
get over it."
Yeah, I agreed with Culver in that instance where it's like
Yeah,
read the guess, and that's why I was like, "Great, Joao's back being fucking
me too.
Joao."
Me
And
too.
then um I think he just kind of like came in headstrong and so like I could understand it in a way where like there's definitely different guests that they've had
Hmm.
on maybe not on like this ship per se, but um like across the series that wouldn't fly. Like you just wouldn't do that
Totally.
with those guests. But like
They were like, "Come
these
in, take your shirt off, come in." Like they really
these
wanted them to
people
come
like
in.
had like a live orgy in the master bedroom. Like they
Literally.
they were all about having the crew interact in the way they did
Yes.
so no, I thought Joelle was overreacting in that instance. I
Yeah.
could understand just like but you've been on the boat for like 2 hours and being like, "What the fuck?" But also like read the room a little bit.
Yeah. Agreed. I agree. Um, so Culver, let's talk about it. We have a new stew, Jamie with two E's, Jamie E. Uh, and everybody's like,
Jamie.
Jamie. Everybody's like, she's so beautiful. And I'm like, okay, she's pretty. But like, is she the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in your life?
No. I watch Love Island. There's way hotter people
Yeah,
in
like
there.
I'm confused at the reaction here. I think Aisha is beautiful and probably
Mhm.
more beautiful. No, no shade to this girl, no shade to
Yeah.
Jamie, but I just feel like she was built up to be like a supermodel walking on board, and she just looks like an Instagram girl,
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
a pretty Instagram girl, but just like, what are we doing here? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought the reaction was kind of funny that like Sheffy and Margot were like, "Oh, great, she's pretty."
I kind of like hate that reaction because it's like she could be pretty, but she could also be like a massive bitch. And that
Totally. Or
gets
she could be like
realized.
the nicest person in the world, and then maybe
Yeah.
you would feel bad about being like, ugh,
Yeah.
she's pretty.
Yeah. Just like having, like being mad that someone is coming on board and is like good looking.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's okay.
I know it was a little weird.
You've worked on boats long enough to realize like the looks matter for maybe the first like 10 minutes. And then, like, if someone's good at their job or if someone is
Right.
kind, that is like far more
Right.
important than what they look like. But yeah, I didn't think it was like, holy shit. Like
Yep.
is it like the bug or Bugs Bunny or like Daffy Duck eyes?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Um yeah, it was a little weird. But so Jamie is on the boat now and let's just get to it. She fucks Culver on the first night.
Yes, she did.
That was the first night, right? That was the first night.
If it wasn't her first night, it was the first night out. It
So it
might
had
have
to be
been,
like her second night. It was either
yeah,
because she came in mid charter. So I think
yeah.
it was the first night.
Because I think the only reason why I think it's second night is because I think they're like she'll be here for dinner. And they didn't drop the charter guests off um
Oh, you're right. You're
after
right.
dinner.
You're right. So
So
her first
it,
full day.
yeah, like it was
Her
within
first full
like
day.
less than
Within 24
36
hours.
hours of being on the
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
And it was definitely the first night off and her second night there.
Yes. Yeah. So our
For
chef friend is
30
upset.
minutes in the shower.
With Joao like sitting there with the lights on in his pajamas. It was so weird. Like, just leave the room, dude. I don't know. It's weird.
Also,
Turn the
like,
lights off.
how
Put some
big can
headphones
that
in.
shower be?
I
They're
don't
on a
know.
I mean, their rooms are so small. How are you
Yeah.
fitting 2 people in the shower?
Right. It was just like, and I'm not slut shaming, whatever, you do you. But I was just like, damn, she came in hot first night, making out with
Yeah.
Culver, like the day after she meets him, and now they're fucking in the bathroom.
I mean, like, she was fully going for it while he was wearing that disco ball helmet.
Yes, fully going for
There
it.
was nothing stopping her.
No. And we are made to believe that she knew that there was a little flirtmance happening between him and
Sheffy told her straight up.
Yeah,
Or
she's like,
I
he's
think
mine or whatever.
Aisha was like, "Oh,
It's
Culver's hers." And
hers,
she's
yeah.
like, "Yeah, I have a crush."
Yeah.
But to be fair, like, they're halfway through the season.
Right. If something was going to happen there, it would have happened.
Yeah, maybe take a page out of Jamie's book. And
yeah, go for it. Just go for it.
So, like, either shit or get off the pot, my guy.
Yeah, I'm not like mad about it from like the chef whose name I don't know how to pronounce was like, it's just girl code. I'm like, you've known her for like less than a day. So it's really not like she has no loyalty to you.
I'm not a big like bro code, girl code person. Like, sure,
Yeah.
there's like morals and ethics you should follow to just
Exactly.
being a good
It's like,
person.
be respectful.
But yeah, like you said, like they're coworkers, but they weren't friends.
They also are only coworkers for a day. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Does she owe you anything? Not really.
The one thing that I would definitely be considering is like, this woman makes my food. And
oh yeah,
that
Culver's considering that because that's all he talked about the whole time.
Yeah, that would be my biggest hesitation of like, I don't know if I can just snack my way through half of a charter season because she won't cook for me. That would be like my biggest consideration, more so than her feelings would be.
Yeah,
she makes my food.
Yeah, and like the thing is too, they don't room together. She rooms with Margot, so it's like that's not that awkward situation. I don't know. It doesn't seem like. Seems like she's maybe making a little bit too big of a deal. Also, she's been flirting with Joao since Joao got on the boat, even though she's like, "Oh, I was hooking up with Joao's friend, and he was hooking up with my friend, and he totally fucked my friend over, and I would never like, God, we'll see how that goes." And she was texting her friend about it, and now she's like, all about, maybe not all about Joao, but like, there's a lot of flirting happening there. So it's like, come on.
And Aisha wasn't happy about that. She's like, there's a difference between being nice and sucking his dick.
Yeah. Which was, I was like, whoa, I don't think we're there yet.
No. I also don't, like, I get Aisha's disposition towards Joao.
Me too.
But I think she, like, crossed a line in saying that to her where.
Me too.
Like.
Also, like, she could do what she wants.
Yeah. Even if you don't like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no. Culver, a fast 180. We'll see how it goes for him. You think it was just more of an ego thing with Sheffy?
Well, she in the last episode, they were like making, I mean, you know, they're like all over each other. They're all in. Jamie and Culver. And Culver was even like, oh yeah, my future wife or something like that. I was like, well, okay, relax. And on the way back to the boat, Sheffy called, I guess, Culver a slut, but Jamie thought it was about her, or she was just not happy about the fact that she said the word slut and like used that to talk about them. So Culver finally apologized, but Jamie was in the kitchen the next day after the first night and was like, I'm sorry if I upset you, and like gave her like a weird hug. And I was on Sheffy's side at that point to be like, please don't touch me. Like, I don't know you, bro. Get out of here. I don't know. Complicated situation going on. A lot of love situations happening on this boat.
Yeah, I don't think I'm Team Margot in the other love situation.
I am also not Team Margot in the other love situation.
Like I'm not a big fan when women make the comment of like, "I've given enough hints, they should pick up on what I
Yeah.
want." Like, no, say it straightforward. Don't go into his room being like, "I'm gonna tell him I just wanna be friends," and then
And
be
then
like,
make out with
"I'm not
him.
looking for anything serious." That is entirely different. Because
Very
like, I don't
different.
make out with my friends.
No.
And but if I'm, like, not looking for something serious with someone, then, like, I'm willing to fuck around a bit, but
Sure. That's kind of what that means. Like in my
yeah.
mind, it would be like, yeah, no, I'm willing to fuck around. I just don't want anything serious.
And then
That's
she
not
gets
a I just want to be
annoyed
friends.
that, like,
Yeah.
he isn't getting it, and it's like, you aren't telling him what you actually want. So,
Right.
I kinda feel bad for Harry in this
I feel
situation.
bad
I
for
don't
Harry
think
too. He
he's
seems
at
like a nice
fault.
guy.
Yeah,
No,
and
I don't think
he's
he's at fault at
also,
all.
like, doing a great job of, like, not overstepping boundaries because you can
Yes.
tell that he knows it's like, this is a little confusing, but she's saying she doesn't want anything serious, and, like, you could tell he would like something more serious,
Yeah,
but
he
he's
seems to
okay
like
with,
her.
like, a lower bar status, like, relationship, so, I just feel, like, bad that he's like, she's in confessionals being like, "He should get it."
Yeah. And she's like, I don't know. I just find it easier to just like do what he wants than like say anything. I'm like, you got to get it together, Margot. You
Yeah,
got to get it together. Cause like that can lead to bad shit,
right,
as you know. Not that I'm blaming her for anything, because that was obviously not, none of that was her fault. But like,
right,
you can't, yeah, just say it. Don't like have consent to things that you don't want to do. Like it's just messy. That's messy.
right.
Um, yeah, no, I thought his cheese plate was nice. Cheese plate was nice.
I remember hearing about it, I don't remember seeing it, so
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
believe
they
you.
should have. But she was like, I don't like brie. Which, like,
Hmm.
how do you not like brie? That's a red flag. Red flag for Margot right there.
Especially because she's from Wisconsin, you, like, have to like all cheese, that's what you do in Wisconsin.
Yeah, maybe she only, what's like Wisconsin's cheese? Is it cheddar? Maybe she only likes cheddar
I
cheese.
don't
She's
their
loyal to
license plate
Wisconsin.
literally says America's Dairyland, and, like, Packers fans wear cheese heads.
Yeah, cheddar. No, is it cheddar that they wear? Or is it like yellow Swiss cheese?
I don't even know if it's, like, I think it's just, like, meant to emulate cheese. I don't know if it's a
It
specific
doesn't look
kind
like real
because it
cheese.
has, like, the holes so
Yeah,
that
but
you
it's
know that it's
orange.
cheese, but it's yeah, right. So, it's just, like it's like a clip art of cheese, basically.
It is like a clip art of cheese. It's like a cheese. If there's a cheese emoji, it probably looks like that.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Margot also, I think, was throwing a lot of. She was just not handling the situation super well in the last episode because she was like rubbing Joe out. She was with Adam. She was like, be my fake
Mhm.
boyfriend for the day. And she was like totally ignoring Harry. And I just like, I don't know, just like he asked her a bunch of times too, like, is this like what you
Mhm.
want? Like, and she just didn't say it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel bad. But she did end up telling him at the end of the last episode, or mid close to the end of the last episode, that like sometimes I like you, but like sometimes I just like you as a friend. Poor Harry. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. I think he means well.
Mm-hmm. 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 The
What
deck
did you
crew is
think
a disaster. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna ask what you thought of Jason organizing Aisha's boyfriend getting there.
So sweet. Love Jason. What a gem.
Their
That was so
relationship,
sweet.
top notch.
I know. I just love it. Even when he was like, she was like, oh, he has a place in the Philippines. And he was like, yeah, please come by. Would love to have you guys there. He just seems so sweet. We got
Mhm.
some more contact lens action this episode too.
Mhm. My guy needs LASIK. Like,
Yeah. I feel
stop having
related. Like I feel like Jason's very relatable because I need LASIK. I work, but I can put my own contacts in. Also, he did have crooked teeth upon a time, and I know I've said it multiple times. Like he was our representation on television for people with not perfect teeth, and I'm still upset about it. But like, I feel like Jason's my kindred spirit.
I mean, that's a hot kindred spirit to have, so
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm hot, but I'm like, he's hot, so he could be my kindred spirit. Jason, if you're listening or looking or reading, just kidding. I'm
if
in a
you're in the
committed
market.
relationship. Bethany would say that my relationship is invalid because I'm not married and I don't have
You're
kids,
not in a
but
relationship, yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
it's
Bethany would
fine.
just say it's fine for me to do whatever I want. So
Mhm.
Matt would disagree. I would disagree as well.
Be strong doesn't.
Be Strong does not. No, she doesn't.
Skinny Girl Margaritas also
Mhm.
doesn't. So I think the vote is three
It's
to two.
true. No, we'll just look at Jason from afar.
Yeah, it's probably best that way. If there's
Totally.
anything, if there's anything this week has taught us is don't meet your heroes or their sons. So, like Suri's son, for example.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes it's nice to just keep the Jills there and set an arm length away so that they can't
Yeah.
be rude.
Yes, exactly. Although Jason would never.
No, I don't. I can't
No,
imagine.
Jason would never. No.
Um, yeah, I like that. That was cool.
Yeah, that was so sweet. They had a cool day
That,
off. They went
yeah,
snorkeling.
and did some like reef replacement.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
So
that. But yeah,
back
the
to our
deck crew's
messy death
a
crew.
mess.
They're
Culver
bad.
was like bringing up the tender too fast and Jason fell. He tripped in front of the guests. That was
Mhm.
embarrassing. Adam like fucked up the side of the boat.
Yep. Culver did the not wrong, so like
Oh
they
yeah.
could have lost
Yeah.
the tender
Total
basically.
disaster. This team is a total
Mhm.
disaster. And I actually feel for Joe because I think Joe actually is very good at his job and has a lot of experience, it seems like.
Yeah.
But
But
he's
when
being
you
really
like,
nice to Adam and he's like really trying to mentor him because I think he sees a lot of himself in Adam, which is nice.
yeah, I
And
just think
Adam
it's
seems
hard to
nice.
like when you have three people negating what you're doing. I don't know if like Harry is so much negating what he's doing. It seems like it's more Culver and Adam
I think Adam has come around. Culver seems like the
a
one that's still a
bit.
jerk, like cutting his
Yeah.
sleeves off his shirt and stuff. But I don't know if it was the last episode, but Adam was like, I'm not just letting myself down, but I'm like letting Joao down. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cute. And it seems like
Yeah,
he's
you
trying to
get
hook him up
there.
with a job. So it seems like their
Yeah.
relationship is growing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that'll be good.
Yeah.
Especially for Jason because we don't need the ship like breaking.
Oh my
Although,
God. Yeah.
oh yeah, because like the anchor that got fucked up too.
It looks like, yes. I was going to say it looks like in the next episode, the anchor's fucked up, but I don't remember
It
if that was
started at
this episode.
the end of this episode.
Yes. 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 A mess. A mess.
Yeah, but we had a much lighter couple episodes this week.
Yeah. Thankfully, we needed it. This
Yeah.
is the below deck we need.
Hmm.
Just messy love drama on a ship. And Captain Jason.
With some guests in between. Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
guests that came on this one, they were like kind of catty from the beginning, like with each other, like fighting over rooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's see how that pans out.
Also, shout out to them for with that one charter where they did the holiday themed dinner and they had the picnic on that reef or whatever it was
Yeah,
called, like the little island. Were they only there for one day?
yeah,
Because they got like
yeah,
$1,700 each for like one night, which is
yeah.
great.
It was a 1 day charter.
Love that.
So some of my friends have like started watching Below Deck or
Hmm.
like have continued watching because like one started and like conversations started happening, whatever. And so we were we were joking around. Like there was probably like 20% seriousness in it. We're like, okay, if we can get 6 people who will all put like 12K in each, because if you go for like a 2 to 3 day charter, I think it's probably only going to be like 40 to $60,000.
Well, here's the
And
thing. I think if you go on below deck, they give you a discounted rate for the
that's
charter,
the thing. Yeah.
but you
So
have to pay the tip.
yeah, it's $100,000 for a week. And so if you're going for like 3 days, that's less than half. So that's,
Hmm.
we'll say like 40-ish thousand. And then you want to figure in like a $20,000 tip. Cause as
Yeah.
I told my friends, I'm not going to be seen as cheap on TV. But we were
Yeah.
talking about like, what would your like below deck,
Preference sheet fee?
well, yeah, or like your like quirk. Like what would you want? What would be
Oh.
your like demand? Like one of my friends, I thought the funniest one, she was like, I'm gonna be vegan and not drink alcohol until I step on the boat. Then I'm gonna change my mind. I was like, that's good.
Oh,
That does
interesting.
drive, you know, when I think they had someone this season already who was like, I don't drink. And then she got on the boat and she's like, not anymore. And was like, here's my champagne.
Yeah, I don't know what my quirk would be. I think I would, I mean, not to like hype myself up or anything, but I think I'd be kind of chill because I'm not
Oh,
like, I would just need to know what I'm eating. But I'm a pescatarian, so I'm easy. Like,
mhm.
for a charter boat, they eat a lot of seafood, so I'm pretty easy.
Yeah. In like, if I wasn't just like having a funny conversation with friends, I think I would be one of the most late. I would want to
Yeah,
eat. That's it. Like,
me too. But I
feed
would want
me very good
snacks at all
food.
times. Like, don't
Yeah.
give me cheese boards, give me chips and salsa. Just like have stuff out for me so I can nosh. That's what I want.
Everyone would like me except for the chef because I would be like, next course, please. Like,
Yeah, same, same.
he's like, it is 2 o'clock. This is your fifth different thing. We like, yeah, I'm expecting another one at 3. When the clock
Hmm.
strikes, new food. Let's go.
Yes, exactly,
But otherwise,
exactly.
like, I'm not a huge drinker, and so I would probably just from eating so much want to go to sleep at like 10:30.
See, I would be just like definitely sipping some cocktail throughout the day, but like that means I would fall asleep early.
Yeah.
So I think I would be relatively easy. Plus, I don't like water toys or like being in
Mm.
the water, so I would just be like chilling on the boat. Maybe a beach picnic would be cool. Um, or
See,
like
I'd
an
rather be
excursion off the boat and like walk around and go shopping or something.
yeah. I would want to use the slide, I think. I would use the water
Yeah,
toys,
I
but
wouldn't use the slide.
I don't want to be on a beach. Sand is just too much. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I would like swim, but I don't really like swimming. Like I don't like the water, so
Yeah.
too vast. I'm
Yeah,
good.
that was I would want to just eat really good food and my mine was like there would obviously have to be a crew talent show because that
Oh,
was
I think I
always
would want a
so
karaoke night
mm,
on the boat. That's what I think I would ask for is karaoke.
that could be fun.
Yeah, I love karaoke.
Yeah, I don't think I would have any weird demands, but we were coming up with like a lot of ridiculous ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's a fun game.
I'll have to go back and look to see if there was any others that were worth mentioning for our next podcast. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was the conversation this week. What would your quirk be?
Love it.
And I was like, well, if I was single, I would definitely try to sleep with one of the crew. But
Oh, they would get in trouble.
I don't know. I think what's her face from
Hannah?
Mediterranean? Yeah, she definitely fucked that guy.
Totally.
And she's
Totally.
like, "Oh, I kissed him and pushed him away." Like, nope.
No.
I that
No.
would so I was like, "Single friends, I'll have to live through you."
Yeah. Yeah. True. I would
But
have no interest in anyone on this boat except obviously for
Jason,
Captain Jason. Yeah.
yeah,
And I think he would be too professional if I were single.
right. No, same. There's no one on that boat that I think I would wanna, like, hang out with Aisha, but that's it.
Yeah, same. Totally. I would want to be friends with Aisha. Hmm.
So, no,
Well,
I think that's all of our below deck.
I think so too. Anything else? Bravo sphere?
Um, I didn't watch this week's or I don't know if I know I'm not caught up on, Stars on Mars.
I'm not
I
caught
think
up,
I
not even
caught
close to caught up on Stars on Mars.
I think I because it's Tuesday, so there would have been an episode last night.
Hmm.
So
I
there's a
have like
chance
4 or 5 episodes, I think, to watch.
I think I either only missed last night's or last night and the week before. But
The last episode I watched was when Andy Richter was base commander and
got
pissed
it.
off the chef or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I know where you're at.
Yeah. So I think I'm like
So, all
4 or 5 episodes behind.
right. Well, when you catch up,
Okay, we'll talk about it. Same
we'll
with
talk
Claim to
about
Fame. I have one
Portia.
more episode. I have to maybe I'll do that after this. Um watch one more episode of Claim to Fame before the finale next week.
Yeah, I want to watch that live because I do not want
Me
that
too.
spoiled for me.
No, he's really dodging spoilers out there on Twitter. People love tweeting about that show.
Yeah, it's also like kind of crazy that there's still a couple of people who like their actual identity hasn't been said like out loud on the
I
show yet.
know. It's kind of crazy.
Mhm. Um But yeah, I'm at the point where I know where everyone is, partially because of people in my life who are smarter than me, and
Yeah.
partially because of Twitter. Um,
Yes.
but it's wild that like there's a good mix right now of who's left and there's no idea who they are.
Yeah. I know. It's kind of crazy. I'm excited to watch the final episode pre-finale. So I think I'm going to do that once I to settle in for the evening.
Hmm. It's a good choice.
Yeah. But all right, well, if there's nothing else,
That's
I don't think
Bravo for
there
the
is,
week.
right? That's Bravo for the
Nope.
week. Kari, where can everybody find you?
I am at KGD26 on the internet. And last night I was on the Challenge podcast.
Yes. Return to form.
Was back on TJ Hates Quitters. So if you want to hear me go on like a minute rant about Derek Frazier, it's in like the first like 10
Oh
minutes of
yeah,
the
did you get any
podcast.
DMs?
No.
No. Okay.
So, but I hope, I
Maybe.
hope one day,
Someone will tip him off.
maybe.
Yeah.
I'm ready to take on all Big Brother. If anything, it'll only strengthen my my application when I do it. Like, why should I be on Big Brother? Because Derek Frazier hates me.
There you go. There you go. You could be
You
like on a future rival season or something.
Yeah. You want the opposite of Derek Frazier? It's me.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
yeah, that's really it. You can follow me, and I'm tweeting about like Love Island USA right now. Still,
Yes.
we're getting towards the end of it. It's a shorter season. They just had
Oh.
the last recoupling of the season, so there's probably only like a weekish or so left.
Hmm. All right, then I'm not catching up. But maybe I'll binge it
No.
after.
But it isn't like, yeah, in comparison to like a proper Love Island UK season, it's significantly shorter because I think this was like
Okay.
episode 30 something, and like take out the weekly um unseen bits one that
Mhm.
removes probably like 5 or 6 from that. Like
Oh, so that's not so bad.
a UK season is like close to 60 episodes, but they also have unseen bits and the After Sun episodes where they kind of have like
Oh.
a talk show about the
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't.
about the show. So there's probably like 10 to 12ish episodes that like
Mhm.
aren't actually episodes. So, but still,
Okay.
this is significantly shorter than a UK season.
Yeah. All right, maybe I'll check it. Maybe this will be my deep dive into Love Island. We'll see.
It's got everything, truly everything. I cannot say enough good things about this season of
Well, you're
Love Island USA.
hyping it up. So if it's not good, if I watch it and I hate it, it's on you.
I
just
can
kidding.
take
I won't
that.
hate it. I won't hate it. I know I won't hate it. That's partially why I've avoided it because it's like I just don't know if I could bring it into my life right now. But okay, everybody follow Carrie's advice. Watch Love Island. I might follow Carrie's advice and watch Love Island as well. And follow her everywhere.
Mhm.
Just not like to her house or anything. Don't do that. You can follow me at RealSimKatie on the Twitter. You can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSimKatie with an underscore. You can hear me here. You can hear me on TJ Hates Quitters with Josiane every week, covering Challenge USA. It's been a very fun challenge season if you're not watching, so I definitely suggest tuning in. You can also find me covering all things Big Brother on Silent Podcasts on Bounced Checks with Isaiah and Josie. We record every Friday and we give you a recap of the week. We've been dropping Feed Bites podcasts here and there, covering all the stuff going on the feeds. We have exit interviews out. So there's just like lots of Big Brother stuff happening. The season has just not stopped moving. It's just there's no downtime. So, mute the hashtag, I guess, if you do follow me and you don't care about Big Brother. But you can also follow us here at Silent Podcasts. I'll pop the little banner up on the screen. Where is it? I will pop the banner up on the screen if I can find it. Keep up with everything that we're doing on Twitter at silent_podcasts. You can also follow us anywhere else at Silent Podcasts on the internet. Just search us. We're there. You can listen to us on audio platforms if you prefer. If you're watching us live and you prefer a traditional podcast, we're on there. So search us and subscribe to Silent Podcasts. Like, comment, subscribe to us. Excuse me. leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us out. We appreciate it. And we also have a Patreon at patreon.com/silentpodcast. So if you want to support us, that's an easy way to do it. Thank you guys so much. We will be back next week, hopefully with some Real Housewives of Orange County. I don't know where our ladies were at this week.
Right.
And we'll be talking about Atlanta finale and maybe another medium fun episode of Roni. So catch us next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.